The 2023 Formula 1 season continues this weekend with the Hungarian Grand Prix, the 11th round of the championship that takes place at the tight-and-twisted Hungaroring circuit located at 30 minutes from Budapest, the country's capital city. The championship arrives to Hungary on the back of the British Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen dominated once again to win for the 6th consecutive time, the 8th time this year, and leave Red Bull on the brink of making history at the next race. This is because Red Bull has now racked up 11 consecutive wins, a run that began at the 2022 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and which they have built on by winning every race in 2023, matching the record held by McLaren since they won the first 11 races of the 1988 season, a run that ended at that year's Italian Grand Prix. Red Bull now has in its hands the chance to add another milestone to its somewhat short but rich Formula 1 history if it can win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Furthermore, if it does so with Verstappen, the Dutchman will come within 2 wins of the record for consecutive wins by a single driver, which is held by Sebastian Vettel with 9 achieved with Red Bull in 2013. Red Bull does not want to miss the opportunity to be the team with the most consecutive race wins, and to increase its chances next weekend, the Milton Keynes-based team plans to bring upgrades to its RB19 car, which would be focused especially on the new side pods that could make the car up to 0.2 per lap faster. An improved Red Bull is surely not good news for its rivals, who have been making strenuous efforts to try to close in on the leading Formula 1 team, and those attempts will continue this weekend in Hungary. Mercedes, which sits second in the Constructors' Championship, but a long way behind Red Bull, is confident that the front wing it debuted at Silverstone will bring further gains this weekend, as the new element should improve the balance and performance of the car through the slower range of the corners, of which there are many at the Hungaroring circuit. Mercedes' technical director James Allison is optimistic. Early signs are promising. The new front wings seem to do what we expected, and hopefully it will bring us more at tracks which have a wider range of slow corners. A bonus for Mercedes may also be just how good Lewis Hamilton is at the Hungarian track when you consider that the Briton is the leading winner at this race with 8 victories, twice as many as the most successful driver Michael Schumacher. Hamilton also holds the record for pole positions with 8, for podiums with 11, and laps led with 487. Yes, the 7-time world champion surely knows his business through the Hungaroring and can give his car an extra edge. Aston Martin, meanwhile, is on a mission in Hungary in order to forget the British Grand Prix, which represented the team's worst performance of the season, with Fernando Alonso's 7th place finish. It's believed that the Silverstone track did not suit the AMR23's characteristics, something that could well be different at the Hungaroring. If the Hungaroring is often referred to as Monaco without the walls, then Alonso must be looking forward to the event, as the Spaniard was impressive in Monaco last May, taking 2nd place in qualifying and then repeating the feat in the race. On Ferrari's side, the Maranello-based team is coming off the back of a frustrating 9th and 10th place finishes from Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc at Silverstone, and needs to recover next time out in Hungary. Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur says the Hungaroring should work in favor of his SF23 car, which performs better in 90-degree corners than in long corners, but an important aspect of its performance will be the wind, something that has affected Ferrari this season, especially when it is diagonal wind across the car. Many eyes in Hungary will be on McLaren after an impressive weekend in Great Britain, where Lando Norris defied Verstappen early on and beat Hamilton to finish 2nd, and Oscar Piastri might well have completed the podium had it not been for an untimely safety car that left him behind the Mercedes driver. Norris himself said after Silverstone that the MCL60 is still pretty terrible in slow corners, which does not bode well for the Hungaroring, but the Woking-based team will continue its upgrade plan to further improve the car. McLaren is the winning guest team at the Hungarian Grand Prix with 11 wins. It's unlikely that they will add a 12th success on Sunday or even visit the podium, but we'll be watching to see if they can build on what they achieved in the last race. Outside of the top teams, the paddock's attention will be focused on Daniel Ricciardo's return to racing as an AlphaTauri driver to replace the departing Nick de Vries, the news that rocked Formula 1 last week. No shortage of challenges await Ricciardo when he takes to the track in a struggling AT04 car, as AlphaTauri sits last in the Constructors' Championship and has not had a driver in the points for 6 consecutive Grand Prix. Ricciardo has a good track record in Hungary, having taken the second of his 8 Formula 1 wins there and then added another 2 podiums in his stint with Red Bull, but since then he has barely had a top 10 finish. It'll be interesting to see what level the Australian shows over the weekend, if he can get on the pace from the start and if he can beat teammate Yuki Tsunoda, as that will be the most important thing in his plan to rebuild his Formula 1 career following his McLaren fiasco. There are clearly plenty of interesting stories to follow at the 38th Hungarian Grand Prix, a round that has been on the calendar since 1986 and which made history that year as the first F1 race to take place behind the Iron Curtain. Traditionally, the qualifying session was considered crucial in Hungary in order to get away with the win, and it is still important. But it's worth noting that only 4 times in the last 10 years has the winner started from pole position. If you're a Formula 1 fan, then get ready for another weekend of action as the championship heads into its summer break next month. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to The Grid Report, where we bring you the latest F1 updates.